Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Lance and today we're going to be taking a look at some new unseen cutscenes from Bloodborne. Now for the most part these cutscenes do not have any audio associated with them at all, so please don't mind if I speak a little while they play on screen. However, with that said, let's just jump right in and take a look what we have here. So this first cutscene obviously shows a similar scenario to what we encounter at the Grand Cathedral in the game. Although with a cleric beast instead of Vicar Amelia's transformation. Now let's just remind ourselves about the scene at the end of the game's opening CGI. It's clear that what we just saw is an earlier draft of what ended up in this CGI, so it's hard to know if it was just in-engine concept or actually represented the introduction of a boss fight once planned to take place in-game. Now next up I'm going to show you the normal cutscene for entering Cathedral Ward, which many of you have likely seen quite a few times, but I do want to play it here just to refresh your memory before I show you a different version of the same scene. As we see, the cutscene is all about showing you the little interesting details in the chapel as you first arrive. Now let's take a look at how this cutscene plays out in the alpha version of the game. It's quite a nice scene with all the flyovers of Cathedral Ward, but I'm not really sure if it's a little jarring to see all those areas so suddenly before the game forces you to actually go in a very different direction initially and not actually visit those areas for a while. So here I'm going to show you a very short cutscene, and I'm actually going to play it twice for you, just so you can see some minor variations I was able to trigger in the level geometry. This is just a short moment and most of the camera angles are broken, but here at least you can see imagery of citizens and a few dogs likely patrolling on the night of the hunt. There's actually a pretty impressive number of enemies on screen here. But once again, if we take a look at the opening CGI, it becomes likely that this cutscene was actually an earlier in-engine version of what would eventually end up being pre-rendered for the opening cinematic. Here's a fairly unspectacular cutscene. I don't know much about it other than what you see here. Just footage of Master Willem rocking in his chair from a few angles. Likely something created for a trailer or some other earlier drafted cutscene that never ended up being used. So that sums it up for totally unseen cutscenes, but I want to show you two other cutscenes that are in the game, but with the lighting engine switched off to reveal some interesting details. A lot of people have asked me about the Yharnam Sunrise ending and what part of town it actually takes place in. Here we can clearly see that the player character wakes up just outside and to the left of the chapel. Once the character stands up, we're actually warped to the circular plaza where the giants patrol and sleep. We get a pretty good look at the celestial clock tower from here. The last cutscene I'm going to show you is the moment when Willem and Lawrence part ways.
I've come to bid you farewell.
Oh, I know. You think now to betray me.
No, but you will never listen. I tell you, I will not forget our adage.
Throughout this cutscene we clearly see Willem speaking, but Lawrence is consistently off screen. Normally we can just barely see him standing next to Willem here, before the camera cuts to black.
Are yet to open.
However, if we remove that cut to black, we can see that moment clearly.
I must take my leave.
So obviously we see that Master Willem has been speaking to what appears to be Mikolash's model here the whole time. It's hard to know why the developers used Mikolash here instead of literally anything else, but it's likely just some artifacts left over from an earlier draft of the game's story and quickly covered up with a black screen. So I think for now we will leave it at that. I do want to revisit Bloodborne's cutscenes in the future again once I'm able to do more advanced editing such as camera control, as I know you're all very eager to see what Vicar Amelia's transformation looks like off screen, but for now I'm not able to do that. Let me know in the comments if there's other mysteries in cutscenes you'd like me to have a look at, and if you did enjoy this video, feel free to let me know by hitting the like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already and you'd like to see more cut content in the future. I've also created a Discord in which to share ideas and information about the games I cover on this channel. You can find a link in the description to that. Either way, thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.